This Slam Music Survival Guide features Gabriel Bey, a Phoenix-based musician, entrepreneur, and a major idea slinger for the improvement of culture and community, especially in the arts. Good people, good conversation. Quote from this episode: if you're into music, you have to do it for the love. Because if you're trying to do it for the money, you'll go down the wrong path every time. Keep listening. All right, so they sailed into the endless void. That's a spooky cool lyric, by the way. At least.
That's
uh,
for Americans. I got you.
yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. All right, everyone. This is a really great episode. This is someone I've actually only met this year in 2025, but has been a fixture of the Phoenix music community for a long time. Um, He's we're all young around here, right? So it's only been, but seriously, no, this guy is a fantastic musician in the Phoenix area, a part of a fantastic jazz group called Spooky Cool. But that's not all. I mean, there's too much, Gabe. I don't want to do you injustice by talking about all the things you do, but got a great resume, Gabriel Bey. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
All right. Thank you, Jack. I really appreciate being here, and hopefully we can share some good information that's going to be useful to a lot of different people in your community.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Well, can you rattle off some of just give us the high level list of some of the amazing things you're involved with? Because it's a really impressive list.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I'm a partner, a principal partner for PHXMF, which is an experience for musicians, filmmakers, gamers, and we're trying to bridge technology all the way across the board because we see that moving, and so we're trying to bring everyone in those industries together and make Arizona a center for the ecosystem. So that's probably the thing that I love the most and want to do the most. I'm a member of the board of KRDP Radio, which is 90.7 FM, and it's also streaming indie. So I have a show on there called Rise, and there I interview local artists and play their music. And of course, it's their original music. So that's a pre-qualifier. I belong to Roots Life Unity in the Community. It's an entertainment group. We do resource festivals and hold events to bring people out and teach them about resources that are available to them. And always we have some bands performing with us. So we do that. I'm a member of Prosperity for Arizona Musicians. It's a group of people from SNTV, local, LinkedIn. Uh, what is that? Trying to think of the name of it. I always get it mixed up because it's so long. It's Alice Cooper's School of
Oh,
Rock, Fervor Records, and a couple other organizations. It's a big attempt to try to make a career path for Arizona musicians. And then there's some other things, but I'm going brain dead right now, so I don't want to take up your whole time talking about me. So
well, that's a hell of a list. I mean, wow. Like, so you just don't sleep then, right? Is that how you get all that done? Is you know? Oh,
asleep.
spoken like a musician, right? Well, I mean, talk. I mean, let's start there. Actually, I mean, I know we're talking. We want to talk about all the good you're doing in the community, but talk to me about the music, man. Talk about what you play and what you love and what you're and any upcoming gigs, anything you're doing. Let's go. We're musicians, man. Let's go.
Oh,
Let's start there.
okay. Well, I've kind of elevated my performance routine. I don't do bars. I don't do nightclubs. I only do festivals and concerts and perform pretty much mostly in performing arts centers. So the gigs are few and far between, but that's okay. I don't need to work as hard as I did as a youth. Uh, more importantly, I want to talk about uh, how do we help other artists in the area. So if you reach out to me and you play original music, I would love to get you into the radio station, do an interview, and get your music aired so that you can receive royalties and all the other things that go along with that. But more importantly, people can hear you. So that's one thing, and you can reach me at, and I guess I can say this, Gabe Gabe at phxmf.com, or Gabe at LISTEN two, the number two, KRDP.com. Okay, so that takes care of how you can reach me. Uh, I'm a jazz musician. I play mostly original pieces, but there are other songs that I like that other people do. Miles Davis, Roy Hargrove, Herbie Hancock. So I perform their tunes. I love them, and I think it makes for a good set when you're performing for an audience. Throw some familiar stuff in there.
Right.
I've got two albums out, a lot of singles. I've written for movies, and I have a pretty, I don't want to call it illustrious, but I've got a pretty good career, and it gives me some insight into all of the things that you could do as a musician, rather than just playing and doing nightclubs. There's a lot of different things that you can take on a musical journey that will provide you with steady income. So that's really more like my purpose. There's a lot of up and coming artists. It takes you a lifetime to learn all of these things. So much better when you have someone to show you the way. So we like to introduce all of the different components, and hopefully, you can find your niche and live a healthy life playing music. So that's pretty much it in terms of my music experience. I'll be playing at a resource festival coming up in, I think it's September, oh, I don't know, 29th or October 5th, one of those dates. I'll figure it out. In the meantime, I'm producing a couple of events for KRDP. So we'll have One Gun, One Love, doing the Bob Marley experience at the Mesa Arts Center. That's going to happen September
It's
27th,
11:30.
and that's a fundraiser for the radio station. And then we'll do another one. I think it's November 1st with Joel Robinson, Dennis Rowland, and Francine Reed, also at Mesa Arts Center, and that date is November 1st. So I stay pretty busy. All of these different committees, all these different uh, organizations. Oh yeah, I'm a member on the board for the Arizona Presenters Alliance. That group is uh, mostly venues like Chandler Center for the Arts and Peoria Center for the Arts, and all of these different venues around town. They all get together along with some musicians, and we sit down and we talk about the industry, what's going on, and how we present local artists. So yeah, there's a lot going on. I'll leave it there.
Is that it? You sure? You sure that's it?
No, there's
Yeah.
more, but I'm not going to talk anymore.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is all, for speaking about myself, it's all about me, Gabe. It's all about me. But this is all right up, what Slam wants to do. We want to improve mental health for musicians, make it so that musicians can survive and thrive. And this industry is brutal. I mean, you know it. I mean, I'll shut up in a second, but yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, across every genre of music, we can think of musicians who we lost too young, and their careers were cut short and compromised because of this stuff. So yeah, all of these things, all the things you're involved with definitely help that mission. So I applaud all of it, all of the above. It's awesome. Let me ask you a quick question about KRDP.
Okay.
Uh, is that open for musicians? Is that open to like if you got like a hip hop artist, or is it just one sort of like folk, rock, metal? Like,
The KRDP is a jazz, a talk, and it's a community radio station. So we play all types of music. There's no genre restrictions that I know of. So when I do my show, I don't particularly care what you do, but share that music with me. Share that you want to be on the show, and I'll set up an interview date, and we'll get you in there and get it done. And just real quick, Jack, I love what you're doing. There's so many artists here, and if you're a local artist, you're playing in nightclubs. The money that you make just barely pays your daily living expenses. So if anything should happen to you, there's always someone throwing a fundraiser or help so and so artists out just just to help you cover your bills and stuff. So what you're doing at Slam is much needed. But I also want to recommend to artists that you join the musicians union. Most artists don't know that the union is here and that it exists. And through that organization, there are some benefits. And we're working to do it better for what we call freelance musicians, because it's the unions are usually focused on things like the orchestra and opera and those sorts of things. But we're working to do a better job of taking care of our uh, individual artists who are out here struggling and competing with each other to make a buck.
yeah, wow, yeah, that's a great point. Actually, that has not been brought up. The musicians union has not been brought up a whole lot. We've talked to a lot of different musicians on here, so it's a really great point. It's really so needed. Also, and it's well, can you elaborate on that a little bit more? I mean, people are thinking of Sally Field maybe when you say unions, like
Uh,
what.
well, first of all, we're in what's called a right to work state.
Mhm.
So there's the union has no teeth like it does in New York or Tennessee, any place like that. And those places, you find a thriving music community. Here, because it is a right to work state, we have to be the ones that initiate the things that will make our environment better. So there's strength in numbers. So if you become a union member, then the things that you get to do is define what your rate of pay will be and talk about things like benefits that actually are available to you and somehow work out a way where, and we're working on this, how freelance musicians can become a separate part of the union that's well represented, a lot like touring artists, a lot like symphony artists, a lot like opera artists. So yeah, it'll get better with the more of us that are together talking about the issues that we have. So that's why I recommend the union. I know that it's a great place to put things together for artists, and there's lots of knowledge being shared, and oh, I could go on, but it's a musicians union, and it's about music. So if you're a musician, you should probably be a part of this. And that's my spiel.
Yeah, again, 100% behind it. Yeah, yeah, I mean, it just makes sense. We'll definitely cover this more in future Slam Summits for sure too. Well, let me switch gears a little bit and I think priority one for this call was PHXMF. I know you got a festival coming up, so talk about. I know that, and it's Phoenix local, by the way, but that doesn't mean if you live somewhere else you should click away. Keep listening because this is could be good for your community and something you guys can learn from. But yeah, this is a cool organization. There's a cool event happening in late 2025. So go ahead, Gabe, tell us all about that.
Okay, well, we've been, well, personally, I've been on a journey for the past 3 years, trying to find out how do we uh, get access to what's called the motion picture production program, which is the Arizona incentive. This is statewide. There's $125 million a year that is available for people who produce their movie right here in Arizona. Part of that is what in most cases, unless it's a musical, is post production. And post production is where they pick your music and put it into the film. And if it's a local artist, anyone from Arizona, then there is an extra incentive that the production company gets, and the artist ends up with a license agreement, and those can be pretty lucrative. So I've been working on how do we get all this organized, and in my discovery over the past 3 years is that Arizona's lacking in a few areas. First and foremost, we don't have the latest and greatest production facilities, so we lack there. Second, we don't have the people. We don't have the skilled staff needed to actually do a major production if one were to come here. So if that were to happen, they would bring their own people, they'd all get paid, and then they'd leave and take those state dollars that we pay into away from Arizona. So we need an ecosystem right here. So that's what we're working on. And in my discovery, although I started off just thinking about music inside of film, I discovered there's music also inside of gaming. And so all of these industries, thank you to AI, are starting to come together. And I don't think they really realize that there's future technologies about to come out through these incentives. And as a musician, you need to be engaged in that. So what PHXMF does is we hold what's called an experience, and we bring in people like drones and musicians and filmmakers and camera people and all. There's probably about 52 or more different skill sets required to put a production movie together. So there's a lot of people out there who gets up in the credits and walk out the door, not realizing that those are high-paying jobs, and you could get a piece of that if you only knew what it was. So we go out, we instead of a scrolling screen, we have different vendors come out, set up their booth, demonstrate. We have discussions about the industry, panel discussions, individual demonstrations, and it's just a plethora of things that we do to get you interested. And more importantly, the idea is that we build a community, an area where we all know we can go to get information about how we get involved in these three major industries, which are going to be bridged as technology continues to flourish. So that's what we're doing. My next event is coming up in October. Well, it was scheduled for 9, 10, 11. My team has decided that we were going to do just a special event for sponsorships for like Coca-Cola and Chevy and all of the major labels, so that we can have the appropriate funding to do a 3-4 day event that will keep everybody involved. So, but I'm also working with other people. There's PJ Way and his AI3 initiative. So I'm working with him, and he's got an event coming up October 30th, and it's all about digital filmmaking. So there's music in everything. So come on, get on board.
Well, again, great event, and a million questions kind of spread out from that. Well, so I'm going to ask two. So the first one is, when you talk about Phoenix, doesn't really, we're not up to par, say, like in LA or in New York or other major film cities. Like, what are other, like, if at the end of the movie, a lot of times now you'll see Georgia, or sometimes you see Ontario, sometimes we're done in Canada. Are we following in, are you trying to have Phoenix follow in footsteps of what's happening around Atlanta and Georgia, or you have is it a different kind of trajectory?
It's a different trajectory. Most of them want to attract the industries there. For us, we want to build the industry. We don't want to call people in and then let them go out. We really want them to come in and be a part of our community, uh, elevate our gross production, our GPD. We want to get that up. We want our quality of life to expand. I mean, there's so many wonderful things that happens when you have a community of experts developing things like movies and podcasts and commercials. All of those things makes for a fairly good lifestyle. It's a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it. So so yeah, our approach is to build our community here, and so that's why we want everyone to know what's available, and then we'll do apprenticeships and training and certificates and all kinds of different things to help you get into the industry and get involved. For you musicians, all you got to do is continue to write, continue to create, and we'll put your music in a database and allow those film companies that hear listen to it. And there's a lot of films being made here. Let them listen to your music. If they like it, we can get you a licensing deal.
Nice. And this is through PHX MF. I got to
Yeah,
keep all your organizations straight, right? So
yeah.
yeah,
This is. I'm just talking PHX
that's
now.
uh and so now you're again like 10 questions, but so the one I want to ask is um you talked about film and games, so which are two giant industries. I mean, billion-dollar industries, maybe even more. But what about things there is music in independently produced podcasts or even corporate produced podcasts and audiobooks, that's a bigger and bigger deal. Is that something, or is that not? What's your approach to that? Is that
Well,
something to pursue?
it would be something to pursue. It's not on my radar particularly because again, I was looking at this based on the Arizona State's incentive of 125 million. So I don't know if all of those things would actually qualify for getting access to those dollars, but it's still a huge community. There's a lot going on in podcasting, and and yeah, we'll somehow we'll figure out how to work everybody in because this is Arizona and this is our community.
No, I like it. I like it a lot. It was so are you finding? And this is kind of me, to be blunt, but are you finding, because you're talking about all these technologies and all these professional routes, are you finding there are a lot of musicians who are just like, man, I just want to play. Like, put me in stage, put me in studio, but I'm just gonna play. Like, do you run into that?
Yeah, yeah, and we do that. We have performances at the event. So if you just want to play, come on and play. That's fine. We'll pay you. But we want to open up the many paths that you can take as an artist so that you don't, you know, maybe you just want to play and you discovered that you have a real skill for creating music. Well, if you do that, there's another pathway that you can take to make money. And so, and I hate to make money the center of it, but it's really about economic development. Your group Slam is there to help people because they don't have the money to take care of themselves. And so if if we could put together a community that's lucrative and does well, then people can do better about living their lives because they're happy, they're making music, and they're making money.
Yeah, well said. All right, and I realize that we have an end that we gotta respect. So I'll only ask a couple more questions. But one I ask of every guest on our show here is, what is your advice for musicians and for just music fans and everyone in general? What's your advice on how to kind of get through, if you're in a rough patch, a dark time, a depression, what's your advice on getting through that and living happily and well, just living happiness? What's your advice?
Well, first and foremost, if you're into music, you have to do it for the love. Because if you're trying to do it for the money, you'll go down the wrong path every time. But if you're doing this because this is something you love, you'll find that doors open up because you'll run across people who love you as well. So the most important thing for me that I advice that I would give is learn how to love what you're doing. Love yourself and keep yourself focused on what you're trying to do. What and we get distracted so easily because there's so many distractions out there. So in order to really and in order to really be successful, you have to put the time in. You have to love your craft, but more importantly, you have to love yourself. And believe me, if you're doing those things, those two things, caring for yourself and loving your music, putting the time in, you'll find that doors will open up for you just because somebody heard you or somebody saw you. So put the time in and care for yourself. Those are the most important things because you can't play if you don't feel good, and you won't feel good if you don't play.
Yeah, thanks, man. That's great. I love it. Well, so now to tie into stuff you said earlier. So if there are musicians, well, this is I guess for Phoenix area, but all over well, let's focus on Phoenix area for first. So if you're a musician and you got your music and you're like, I got to get this on tape, to use an old term, I got to get this recorded. Like you're someone people can reach out to, right? To get you have connections at least, right? To get music recorded.
Yeah, I'm associated with several studios here in the valley, including my own, which is Kingdom Work Studio. I didn't mention that in Chandler, Arizona. A lot of people don't know what the process is, and to be honest about it, there's a lot of things you can do at home. There's digital audio workstations that you can have from Audition to Pro Tools. There's just a plethora of ways to get your music recorded, and then you need to figure out, how do you get it distributed, that sort of thing. And there's places, many websites that can do that for you, but there's a lot of things that you don't know about the industry that you should learn about. There's so many ways to collect money besides just waiting on the 1/100,000th of a cent that you get from something like Spotify or Apple Music. So uh, I don't. I guess what I'm trying to say is there's a lot to learn about this industry. It's taken me a lifetime, and even now I'm still discovering ways that we can turn our music into revenue. And so we want you to know what they are instead of taking 50 years to discover all the things that's happening. And let me also say that the industry is changing rapidly, extremely quickly. And with the advent of AI and the fact that we don't have these artistic things in our schools, people don't know about concerts and stuff unless they're popular music. So we shoot ourselves in the foot if we don't keep those types of educational things in the schools so that kids will grow up knowing that there's arts out there and you can listen to it in many different formats. So I'll leave that alone because I know I could get on a soapbox about that.
Well, we gotta have you back on, Gabe. We'll get on that soapbox next time because yeah, I've got some feelings there too. I've got some opinions there, but yeah, I will just tack on that. Yeah, I agree. What I don't hear often talked about is that kind of great feeling of just sitting and playing, either alone or with other musicians. I mean, that's it's not like the great feeling you get from like having a good bowl of ice cream. It's something really deep and profound. So I think we should talk more about that when we're advocating for this kind of thing for kids and heck, even for grown-ups who are like, I should learn to play the piano or whatever. Like, it feels great and it feels there's definitely a healing part to it. To listening too. You don't have to play. You can if it's not in you and you just love listening, then I think that's a great thing too.
Yeah, well, if it wasn't for the listeners, we wouldn't have any reason to play. So we appreciate them too.
All right. Well, as I said, I definitely want to be respectful of deadlines. I know we've got stuff coming up at the top of the hour here. So, um, Gabriel Bey, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us today. Best of luck to all of your organizations, and count me and Slam in to help wherever we can. Man, you're doing so much good. I really applaud all of it. So, you want to take us out with any words of wisdom or plugs or
Uh, well, all I can say is support Slam. That's a major thing, a major happening. Help them, and we're going to have them in our events so that they get even more visibility than what they have right now. So for all of the listeners, just love your music. We appreciate you. There's a whole nother level of music we don't talk about. The vibrations, the notes, what they do to you physically and mentally. There's a whole nother area about music that we need to discuss more because it sets the tone for our planet. And quite frankly, I'll try to do this quickly. When I was coming up, music represented the conditions that we lived in. People sang about free love and they sang about oppression and the war and all of those things. Music is always reflective of our condition. And so I say that simply to say, uh, keep your message in touch for a higher self so that we can be better as not just a community, but as a country. We should have music that talks about our love, our support, and all of the good things we do, not all of the negative things that we have to deal with. And that's me.
all right, I'm not going to even try to cap that. So thank you so much. Gabriel Bey, everyone, check out PHXMF and like I said, Alice Cooper's Teen Center and well, just look him up. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Gabe.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, Jack. I'll talk to you soon.